Kelly Belly back with you, and I'm going to prepare a monster 16-pound brisket this weekend for my friends. So the first thing I want to show you today is how I'm going to prepare the meat. That means I'm going to trim off a lot of this fat, not all of it, but a lot of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a binder on it and season it up with rub. Put it back in the fridge to sit for a day before we get it on the smoker tomorrow. So that being said, let's get right at it. So we're going to give it a nice little trim today where we're going to be careful to take off enough fat, but not too much fat, right? Then we're going to go put a binder on it, put some seasoning on it, stick it in the fridge overnight. That's our plan. All right, so the first step we're going to do is we're going to try to trim this up. What I personally like is to leave myself about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch thick of the thick fat. You can see right here, this is some real thick fat. It's thicker than that. I don't want it that thick. I also don't want it all gone. You'll also see something on some briskets called silver skin. So let's look at this for a second. So you see the skin that actually kind of looks silverish? It's called silver skin. It's just not great for the binder and for your seasoning to adhere to. So we're gonna try to scrape that off a little bit if we can while we're trying to do this. So let's get at it. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this really thick cut of fat, try to thin this out a little bit. So this brisket was a bear to trim. My knives could have been a little bit better, would have made my life a little bit easier, but I've got it trimmed up pretty good. Took off a good portion of the fat, not so much on this side. This side could have been better. You can see here where it's starting to cut in a little bit too much. That's trimming off too much fat, that's why I stopped. So that's that side. This side's looking really good. I kind of trimmed that hard fat out of there, trimmed a little bit of that hard fat out of there. Now I'm ready to add my binder and my seasoning and I'm good to go. So now we're ready to go ahead and get our binder on our brisket. We can use olive oil, Worcestershire. I personally like plain old-fashioned yellow mustard. Put in a minimal amount on. All we're really trying to do is put some glue on our meat so that our seasoning has something to adhere to. So let's put some on here. That's about the right amount for this side. I'll need some more on the other side too, I'm sure. Oh yeah. And really the key here is to make sure you're getting in all the nooks and crannies, because anything that you're not touching with this mustard, it's probably not going to have the seasoning stick to it, which means it's probably not going to have the flavor you want, right? So now we're covering yellow mustard. It's ready to go. Let's put some seasoning on this baby. I like Meat Church Holy Cow, so we're going to use that and just a little ground pepper. I love the color on this. Beautiful color. Now, traditional brisket rub, by the way, is salt and pepper and garlic. That's it. So I'm adding just a little bit more than that by using Holy Cow from Meat Church. Oh, yeah. So I'm patting it, I'm not rubbing it in. And this baby is all ready to go. I'm going to put it on this tray, stick it back in the fridge. Tomorrow morning, it's time to go. So I have my smoker running between 225 and 250 using nothing but pure cherry wood that I harvested myself a couple weeks ago and chopped up. After a few hours, you can see that nice deep bark is starting to develop. Not quite there yet, but it's well on its way. Oh my God, it smells so good. Fudge. It smells so good. Time to throw another log on the fire and prepare my spreads. The spray blender is going to let me put my stuff in here, blend it up with the little blender attachment, which I'll show you in a minute. And then because it has like a fine wire mesh metal filter on it, it's going to actually be able to keep out all those heavy particles, still spray my stuff out. I'm just gonna put them in here as is. And the thing I'm gonna spray on my meat, this is amazing. Got a beautiful pepper from my friend's garden. Just dropping it in the spray blender. Gonna have some barbecue rub. Just pouring it in the spray blender. We'll see what happens. Let's take some beer. Pour a few ounces of this in the spray blender. Apple cider vinegar. What? A few ounces of spray blender? A few ounces in the spray blender. taken all that fresh garlic cloves, that fresh hot pepper, the beer, the apple cider vinegar. It's taken all of it and it's blending it so I can have this beautiful, tasty, flavorful mist to put over my meat. So now we need to put a spritz on my brisket. I'm gonna use the concoction I made with the spray blender. Oh, look at this thing of beauty. Let's see how it sprays out, nice and smooth. Look at that nice smooth spray. Look at that. Even though I put it in this heavy mixture of garlic and peppers and beer and apple cider vinegar, look at this beautiful spray. All right. What we have here is my 16-pound brisket that I have slow smoked since 24 hours ago. So at 1 o'clock yesterday, I started my fire. 2 o'clock yesterday, I put this on. Midnight, I put it in the oven. Finally hit my target temperature about 7 this morning, and it's been resting warmly ever since. I have got so much drippings. I want to show you how much drippings are in here because ideally I would have liked to have wrapped my brisket, but a 16-pound brisket, as you're about to see, is too big to wrap. Behemoth, oh my gosh, it's almost falling apart coming out of here. Wow! Moment of truth. Oh man, I'm nervous. So I'm gonna slice this right down the middle. I'm gonna turn it first because here's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to slice this right down the middle and then turn it over real pretty just like they show on the videos. And let's see how that works. Oh, moment of truth. Look! Oh my gosh, it actually looks just like I wanted it to. That is actually what I was going for. I should put it like this for maximum visual. Bark on top, bark on top. This is what a 16-pound brisket should come out looking like. Man, beautiful smoke ring, beautiful color, beautiful bark. Look at this. I'm barely even able to hold it together. All right, let's slice this up.